All right, let's talk about it. I have officially finished The Bands of Mourning, and this was so interesting. I've finished it last night, this morning-ish, and so I've thought about it all day, and this feels different than the previous two, and I really liked it. It's funny, thinking back on this, I think about the jokes with Wayne. I think about the stuff with Telson, right? But you know what I think about the most when I think about this book now? These two. I think about Steris and Wax, and just how cool their relationship evolved, and how Steris kind of came into her own, and how Wax saw Steris, for like who she really is, not just this like arrangement or political agreement that they had. I really enjoyed this book. I really did. I will say that it feels like a build up to the next book, ultimately. Like, some things were explained. A lot of the investiture connection, what was it? Identity and, what was the last one? Like, was it Fortune? That stuff is going to take me a while to, like, ingest, Like, I have a basic idea, but not a full understanding, if that makes sense. Very interested in what is going on with the women that were kidnapped, with Trell, with Telson, how she gets involved in all of this, and the stuff with the coin, and, like, Hoyd. And the fact that Hoyd threw it to Wax, but it was a copper mine with a memory in it, and it was Kelsier's memory? What is that about? The twists and turns in this was really good. The technology advancements was really cool. I mean, we got allomantic grenades. We got airships. That was cool. We got, like, other peoples that nobody knows about. Interesting. That statue of supposed the Lord Ruler, right? With one spike in the eye. But that's also on the coin. The coin had a man with one spike in his eye. But the spear was the Bands of Mourning. So that was its own thing. So, yeah, well, what's going on with that? I loved the relationship between Milan and Wayne. I thought that was great. I'm still kind of freaking out about the fact that, like, hemalurgy spikes are, like, this big. They're little things. I don't know why, when I thought about, like, I guess it makes way more sense now that, like, Marsh had, like, 20 spikes in him. I'm like, man, if this dude is just looking like rebar, that'd be nuts. But if they're, like, a bunch of little ones, that makes more sense. And something crazy that I guess I just never thought about until now because of Edwarn, if you can do hemalurgy through these spikes to anyone, even if they're not an allomancer, and you can make them an allomancer, I don't like that at all. I wonder what Telson's, like, position in all of this is. Because she was telling Edwarn what to do. But at the end, he was, like, in his prison cell, and then that creature, he called it a faceless immortal, which is what they also called the Khandra. Some people did. So assuming that was a Khandra, and he's like, hey, yeah, you know what? We can speed along your plan. But we just realized that we don't need people to rule, which is what you were going to do, so we're just gonna, blow ourselves up. And, like, what? Was that Telson's idea? Who? Is she the top of the top, or is she working for somebody else? And, like, how does Trell fit into all of this? Because there was stuff that it said, like, there was that plate that Vindel said. He's like, we don't know the language. We have no idea. And they're like, Harmony is kind of busy right now. Like, shit's happening, and we don't know what it is. So, like, another god is, like, trying to mess with Scadrial, and Sazed is just trying to do his best to keep it all together while everything else is like, what's up with that? Because, like, with Preservation and Ruin, they were like two halves of a whole kind of thing. Like, they, yin and yang, evened each other out, and now Sazed holds both. So it's like, okay. But now other gods from other planets, assuming that that's what's happening, they can start messing with each other? I mean, I guess that makes sense because Adonalsium was, like, one and then split into a bunch. So I guess they could kind of coalesce and, like, have more than one shard, maybe? That sounds dangerous. So that's a thing. The fact that Alec said that the Lord Ruler didn't die, but we know for a fact he did, because Secret History, The Lord Ruler showed up in the cognitive realm. So he is dead. So what's that about? And also, like, this stuff just keeps snowballing, you know, because the Lord Ruler was this big bad in the beginning, but he was actually just Rashik, and Rashik, while a piece of shit and a tyrant, he was trying to keep Ruin at bay. But Ruin couldn't do anything without the people that were doing the stuff for him, like Marsh and, you know, everyone else that was doing Ruin's bidding. So what's the big picture here, you know? Very interesting. But overall, I really liked it. I thought it was very good. It felt like a middle chapter, which I guess makes sense because, again, from what I understand, Alloy of Law isn't technically a part of the trilogy, and this is the middle of the three. It feels like a middle chapter of a trilogy. But I thought it was great. I thought there was some amazing character moments. I thought it was really funny, and it had some great twists, and I like the characters, and I'm just very, very interested to see what is next. Said, I cannot believe I'm on the last book of Era 2. That was fast. So I went to Barnes & Noble today because I had ordered it because they didn't have it in stock. I'd ordered it like 4 days ago. And I was like, oh, I've never ordered a book to be sent in before. So I went there and they were like, oh, it's not here yet. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't have it to switch, but I have the audiobook for The Lost Metal. And I am starting that tonight. I am very, very, very excited. And I will keep you all posted for the last book of Era 2. Ooh!